Hello and welcome to the Chuck E. Cheese Iceberg video. I got the video idea from Nathan Spites, so I will link his original video in the description, but the original Iceberg is from Chouts, and the version of the Iceberg that I'm using is from Maddox121 on Reddit. I will link the post down below. It's from the r/iceberg charts Reddit. Chuck E. Cheese. This is referring to Chuck E. Cheese, a restaurant chain started by Nolan Bushnell in 1977. Nolan was the founder of Atari, and in 1974 he purchased a rat costume that he thought was a coyote costume. So he changed the name of it being a coyote-themed restaurant to being Rick Rat's Pizza. But that would not work with a rat being the mascot for a restaurant. So we changed it to Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater. Arcade games. This entry on the list is about how Chuck E. Cheese is a pizza restaurant with arcade cabinets like Showbiz Pizza. Nolan Bushnell was the founder of Atari, so he decided to bring arcades into his restaurants. But during the video game crash of 1983, Pizza Time Theater was struggling because arcade games was one of their main features. So in 1984, they filed for bankruptcy and was bought by Showbiz. And in the early 90s, Showbiz and Pizza Time Theater merged in what was called concept unification, which all the three stages got turned from the Rockefeller Explosion to Munch's Make-Believe Band. Animatronics. The animatronics are a key feature of CEC, and it's personally the reason why I go. But there's not much to say, so I'll just let this clip play so you can really just see.
Not the star of the show, you are, 'cause the magic only happens when we all get together.
We can feel the magic now that you're here.
Together we'll make the good times right here. And when it comes to keeping the groove,
We might just make believe band and we're gonna make you.
Pizza. I think this entry has to do with the Shane Dawson conspiracy theory, where people speculated that Chuck E. Cheese's pizza was reused with old slices because they don't add up to a perfect circle. And of course, Chuck E. Cheese denied any of the accusations. And personally, I think it's BS, because why would you? It's a pizza. It shifts.
I didn't cut the clip at all. I did not cut the clip at all. You guys saw that? There's no way this is the same pie. There's no way. Look at the pepperonis. They're different.
Dance floor. This entry is talking about the 2.0 thing CEC is doing, where they're getting rid of the animatronics for a dance floor. But I will talk more about this later in the video, because there is another entry about it. Charles Entertainment Cheese. This is Chuck E. Cheese's real name. There's not much else to say. Helen Henny. Helen Henny is the only female character in Munch's Make-Believe Band, and she is the current love interest of Chuck E. Cheese. She is also a chicken, not a hen, which is kind of ironic for her name. I'm gonna make this easier on myself by grouping the rest of the characters together like I should have done from the start. Mr. Munch. Mr. Munch is a purple monster who is known for playing the keyboard in Munch's Make-Believe Band. Jasper T. Jowls. Jasper is a fun-loving country dog who plays the pizza guitar. Pasquale, God knows how to say his last name. He is a singing chef who plays the drums for Munch's Make-Believe Band. Poggers. This entry is just this.
Poggers.
Rockstar Chuck. Rockstar Chuck is the new Chuck E. Cheese that you guys see in all stores as of 2012. He looks like this on screen. And the next entry is what he looked like before. They changed him to the Rockstar Chuck. Avenger Chuck. Avenger Chuck was used from 1996 to 2013. He was the version that a lot of you remember. I remember him. He's just like the most known version of Chuck. Pizza Time Theater. Pizza Time Theater was the original name of Chuck E. Cheese's before the merger with Showbiz. And these right here were the Pizza Time Players, as they were called. Chuck E. Cheese used to smoke a cigar. In the original portrait-style show, when Pizza Time Theater first opened, Chuck had a cigar. You know, since the show was mainly for adults. The King. The King was an animatronic part of the Cabaret Act, which was a separate part of Pizza Time Theater, and the King was one of the characters. He plays Elvis Presley songs, but sometime later, they introduced the King Cat, which was a retrofit king to play Michael Jackson songs. Rolf is Chucky. During concept unification, Rolf the Wolf became the three-stage Chucky.
Your host with the most.
Studio C, Alpha, Beta, and Kappa. This was referring to CEC's idea to only have one Chuck bot. This idea almost worked until they limit the 32 movement bot to the 16 movement, which they already had the 16 movement bot made for certain stores. But the idea of Studio Alpha, Beta, and Kappa is to think that you are in a TV studio. And that is what you see in most stores because it was a technician's nightmare to work on 5 bots, which was Chuck, Helen, Munch, Jasper, and Pasquale. But now, they barely even work on the Studio C bot, and that has caused it to basically just crash and burn. And now, as you know, 2.0 is happening where they're replacing all the stores' bots with a plastic dance floor. I could go on a rant about 2.0 in Studio C. And it happened in like the 90s too. Dolly Dimples. She was the first cabaret act in CEC. She was also a hippo who played the piano.
The piggy from Paris may be good, but the hippo from Hoboken, honey.
Concept unification. Concept unification was the switch from Showbiz Pizza Place animatronics in the store to Chuck E. Cheese's animatronics in the store brand. This happened in the early 90s and ended in like 1983, 1982. And it was the best move they could have ever done. Because if Showbiz would have bought Chuck E. Cheese's entertainment, then Chuck E. Cheese would not exist today because they went bankrupt.
Now, building C, as per the manual, and screw to the